We were approached by the Delaware Department of Education about doing a series of spots to try to attract teachers to Delaware.
My wife's a teacher, so this is something that we talk about at my dinner table almost every day. The truth of the matter is that teaching's really hard, and we really wanted to kind of acknowledge that.
What we wanted to do was get a message that would focus on the type of teachers that we want, which are teachers that frankly are looking for a challenge.
It's hard, it's challenging, but it's rewarding because of that. And that's really the spirit of all of these pieces that we did. Action, slow down. Another interesting thing about these pieces is there's no dialogue. We really wanted our story to be told with our actors, with our lighting, with our camera movement. So you really have to be very thoughtful and intentional with what you're doing and know why you're doing it.
We just discuss how we want it to feel. That's really where you start. And then you talk about the technical stuff, and then you decide what kind of lights you're gonna use, where you're gonna put them, or is it a hot light, is it a cold light? A combination of all of that is what sells the emotion.
We want people to think positively about the idea of going to teach in Delaware.
There's 4 individual long-form commercial spots, full campaign, all in the same style.
Like we were dealing with classes full of 4th graders and high schoolers, and we had a gym full of extras.
The first challenge was finding locations that would work.
So the schedule is really important to make sure that we get everything we need in the time that we have. We spent so much time beforehand going through every detail and making sure we were prepared to deal with things as they came up.
Most of the spots that we wrote for this campaign were just direct experiences that we had had with teachers that we loved.
One of our writers here at Short Order actually had a teacher who would dress up and come and be in character during history class.
One of our writers wrote a spot because they had a teacher who would bake pies for every Pie Day.
It's a story of this teacher who spends all night baking all these pies, and it's also kind of subtly hints that teachers bring a lot of their work home with them, and they put a lot of hours that aren't necessarily on the clock. Another one of those things that we just want to highlight that teachers do every day, and these are the kind of people we're looking for. One of the interesting things we found through our research and talking to other teachers is that a lot of times it's the kid who you really work with and take from being, an underperformer and turning them around. It's about the student who is struggling, and this teacher just doesn't give up on them.
Music selection was very important. The character felt very vulnerable, but at the same time goes through a journey of improving and going forward in life. The music does that. The music brings that emotion out of it.
We're just also really lucky to be working with a client who's willing to go out on a limb and try something a little different. It would have been really easy for them to just say, Delaware's great and we have the best school systems. They went with more of an emotional approach that would really speak to new teachers.
People make decisions emotionally, so connecting with people emotionally is the most important thing you can do.
And that's the kind of message that I think ultimately is going to do well for them. Good project is something that has heart and a little bit of human element to it as well. I think the most satisfying thing for me is when you deliver the end product to your client. The most gratifying thing I can hear from a client was they say, yes, you understand us.